she's so fine. Hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a lights my day.
An emotional grandmother tonight in search of her grandson, Samuel Olson.
He was at his birthday Saturday. It should have been the happiest day of his life.
The boy just turned 6. He was reported missing last Thursday. Dalton Olson is his father.
That is my whole world. And I couldn't imagine if anything happened to him, and I believe that he's still out there.
Theresa Balboa is the father's girlfriend.
And I was going to take Sam to school when his mother showed up with a police officer, what I was under the impression to be a police officer, and they demanded me to release Sam.
But it's a story that Houston Police Executive Assistant Chief Larry Satterwhite says they haven't been able to verify, and in fact, he says Sam may have gone missing weeks ago.
All we have are reports. The last time we know for a fact where he was his school, and that was April the 30th.
Police say the boy's biological mother and father share custody. One of the last places he reportedly was, this apartment in Southeast Houston that belongs to Balboa's friend. Tonight, police executed a search warrant looking for evidence that might lead them to Sam. Earlier, Texas EquiSearch searched fields nearby. Volunteers are distributing flyers. Police are asking the public for any information. Just how does no one know where 6-year-old is?
It's a good question. I don't have an answer for you, but we're going to find out.
Jessica Willey, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
What's good, guys? This story is coming out of Houston. I want to thank my subscriber Denise Scott for sending it to me. It came out 8 hours ago, today, June the 2nd. Child found dead at Texas motel, believed to be missing boy. Now, the video you just watched becomes extremely important because the mannerisms and behavior of Samuel Olson's father's girlfriend, Miss Balboa, is interesting to watch, especially after the press conference that was just held by the Houston Police Department. And I'm going to play that. But she is the suspect in this case. And if you watch her mannerisms, we've seen it before. A child found dead in a Texas motel room is believed to be a young boy reported missing in Houston, police said. Authorities have been searching for Samuel Olson, who was reported missing May 27th in Houston. Last night, police recovered a child's body from a motel room in Jasper, about 130 miles northeast of Houston, and authorities believe it is him, Houston Police Chief Troy Finner said, although they would not confirm it in the press conference. So far, all they're saying is they do have the body of a young child. A possible suspect was being questioned. That's who we just saw. And more information was expected to be released later today, Finner said. The young boy would have turned 6 over the weekend, so his birthday was on Saturday. The person who reported Samuel missing told police he'd been taken May the 27th from his home by an unknown male, but authorities have not been able to verify that story, the Houston Chronicle reported. Houston Police Assistant Chief Larry Satterwhite told the newspaper that the last confirmed sighting of Samuel was April the 30th at his school. So he was last confirmed as being seen on April the 30th. Guys, today is June the 2nd. Okay? That's quite a stretch there, where we don't have confirmation that he was alive. And now they find a body in a hotel room. I'm going to go ahead and play the press conference so that you guys can hear exactly what was said today.
Morning. My name is Heather Morris. I'm the Assistant Chief of the Criminal Investigations Command. And I wanted to start off here today by letting you know that I'm going to be providing some information on this investigation of missing 5-year-old boy Samuel Olson, now 6. But to start off, I just wanted to say that there's a lot of investigative work that's necessary in this investigation that still needs to be done. So I'm going to be providing some broad details about what happened and kind of connecting some dots in how we got here today. But just to start off, there's a lot of details I'm not going to be able to share because this is an active investigation, and there's going to be some things that we're really going to need to get right, to be able to, follow this thing up. So I wanted to start off also by introducing my team that I have with me here this morning. I've got Commander Knoll of the Homicide Division, and also I have missing persons investigators of the Major Assaults Family Violence Unit here with me. And I'll start off. I've got Officer Sean King, I've got Officer Brian Ford, I've got Officer Danny Doe, I've got Officer Martha Bailey, Sergeant Brendan McCord, and Officer Darren Busey. There's also, I just can't say enough about this amazing team that's standing behind me and the work that they've done on this case. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the work of all of these investigators behind me, as well as some additional investigators as well that are not here because they're out actively still working this investigation. And so I want to acknowledge Sergeant Persard and Sergeant Grimes and Officer Crowder and Officer Mr. Vinogradov, and Sergeant Brady and Sergeant Casso. And all of these investigators have done just an amazing, phenomenal job, and there's still a lot of work to be done. But our hearts go out to the family members of Samuel. We are very, very saddened by the events that have brought us here today. This is an absolute tragic event, and our prayers go out to the family. So we've asked everybody here today to provide information on the investigation of 6-year-old Samuel Olson, who was reported missing to HPD on Thursday, May 27, 2021 at approximately 6 p.m. Patrol officers were dispatched to a residence in the southwest part of town where they met the father of Samuel, Dalton Olson. Also at the residence was Mr. Olson's girlfriend, Theresa Balboa. Mrs. Balboa told the officers on the scene that she was at the residence that morning at approximately 7 a.m. when she saw Samuel's mother with an unknown officer at the front of the residence. Ms. Balboa indicated that the officer told her that she would go to jail for kidnapping if she did not return Samuel to the mother. Ms. Balboa indicated that she recognized Samuel's mother because she had seen her before. Ms. Balboa told the officers that Samuel's mother and the officer left in separate vehicles. Mr. Olson told the officers that once he heard this story from Ms. Balboa, he contacted Samuel's mother and she told him that Samuel was not with her. Missing persons investigators began working this investigation and made contact with Samuel's mother. Through investigative efforts, they were provided evidence that Samuel's mother was at her residence throughout the entire morning of May 27, 2021. Investigators continued to follow up on this case, doing everything investigatively possible to find Samuel. Their investigative efforts included in part interviews with Ms. Balboa, Mr. Olson, Samuel's mother, and others. Missing persons investigators discovered inconsistencies in Ms. Balboa's statements and consulted the Homicide Division. From that point, a collaborative effort was conducted by both the Missing Persons Unit and homicide investigators. Also, Texas EquiSearch assisted in searching multiple locations. A search warrant was obtained for the residence in the 15,000 block of the Gulf Freeway. This is the residence where Ms. Balboa was living. On Monday, the search warrant was executed by investigators, and the Houston Forensic Science Center collected evidence from that location. That evidence will be processed and analyzed for its forensic value. Also, a 2012 Dodge Avenger was towed from that location to also be searched and analyzed for evidence. Yesterday, investigators were contacted by Jasper Police Department, and they were notified that they had received an anonymous tip from Crime Stoppers that led law enforcement officers to a motel in Jasper, Texas in connection with this investigation. Jasper Police Department officers initiated contact at the motel with Ms. Balboa and eventually discovered the body of a young child. Ms. Balboa was taken into custody. At this time, we believe the child to be Samuel, but we cannot confirm that it is him until the medical examiner makes that determination. The Texas Rangers took lead on the investigation, and homicide investigators traveled to the location to continue their follow-up. At this time, the Harris County District Attorney's Office has accepted charges of tampering with evidence against Ms. Balboa. Once this case has been fully investigated, investigators will be presenting the case to the District Attorney's Office for additional charges if appropriate. In addition to the investigators that I've already identified today, and again, I just can't say enough how proud I am of their work. and all the efforts that they put in this investigation. But there are other people that help with this investigation, so I just wanted to thank some people that I know that have been involved in this investigation, and some of those are Texas EquiSearch, Tim Miller, and all of his people that he has with him, the Harris County District Attorney's Office, specifically Samantha Connect that worked with our investigators to get search warrants, the Texas Rangers that helped out at the scene last night, Jasper Police Department, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office, the Jasper County District Attorney's Office, our Houston Forensic Science Center, and also Crime Stoppers. I would like to open it up for questions, but again, a lot of the details I'm not going to be able to provide information on just because of the seriousness of the investigation and the ongoing investigation. So if somebody has any questions.
There was since Monday that detectives said that they believe that the child wasn't missing last week, but since April the 30th. That's still something that you guys are looking at, or he disappeared May 27th?
So we know that the last day that Samuel was in school was April 30th. So other than that, we don't have the information yet as far as when was the last time that he was actually seen. So that's a big part of what we're doing right now and the conversations we're having right now to determine when that was. But April 30th was the last day he was in school.
In what stage do you know that the child was found? Was he with trauma or anything like that?
Right, so I'm going to leave that for the, once the, medical examiners have done their, done the work on that, and not get into the specifics on that, and mainly because, a lot of that we don't have yet. We just don't have it until that medical examiner is able to do their part.
Has Balboa said anything?
So, she has been talking to investigators because, like I said, we had some inconsistent stories. So we have talked to her multiple times, and that's going to be ongoing.
Can you talk about a little bit of the health on McAvoy? I was there yesterday. It was such a different area. What was found in that investigation that led to bring connection to Jasper?
So McAvoy was the location where Ms. Balboa reported Samuel missing from. And so obviously that's a place that, we have an interest in. As far as anything else there that led us to Jasper, McAvoy doesn't have any connection at this time that we know of to that. What led us to Jasper was the Crime Stoppers tip that came in, letting Jasper PD know that Ms. Balboa was there at that location in a motel there in Jasper.
And that dog, that dog, do you believe that belongs to her?
We believe that was a vehicle that she primarily drove.
So we don't think it belongs to her.
As far as the actual ownership, no, but that is a vehicle she primarily drove. Well, I can confirm that Ms. Balboa is out on bond currently. That would be for a assault with intent impeding breath.
Was there a protective order against the dad?
I am not aware of a protective order. No.
From Ms. Balboa, Ms. Dalton, the dad.
There may have been some conditions of the bond, but specifically a protective order, I'm not aware of one.
So she was on bond on an assault charge against him?
Against the father of Samuel's father.
How did she get to the motel exactly? Is she with anyone?
So we're still investigating that, and we have additional people that we're talking to. I don't want to get into details, as far as that goes, because I think it would be very premature. But we're talking to, we have several other people we're talking to.
Do you know if the child was already at that motel when she arrived there after, or?
So I would probably hold off on that one. And again, that's going to play out. We'll, as we go through the investigation, we'll be able to, shore up a lot more details on that.
Do you have any motive why she would take him, why Jasper, why the
It is absolutely heartbreaking, absolutely. And as far as a motive, no, we do not have a motive at this point in time.
Is there anybody else you're looking as a person of interest? Anybody else you're looking to take into custody?
So we do have other people that we have an interest in talking to in this investigation. As far as charges, we're not there as far as charges go, and but we do have additional people we're talking to, definitely.
But that's not the father of the child included in those cancelations?
So I think that I'm not going to say that the father is a person of interest, but he's definitely somebody that we can continue to talk to and get information from.
How many would you say are people of interest?
I really couldn't say exactly, but there are several people that that we're interested in talking to additionally.
And also, Samuel brought in from the car into the hotel.
Can you say that again?
How was Samuel transported from the car into the hotel?
So we are working on surveillance evidence from the hotel, and so that'll play out once we do further investigation.
Can you remember what she was what charges she was taken into custody on, and you said she bailed out already on those?
Okay, so she is on bond for a case from November of last year. Okay, and that's the assault with intent to impede breath. And that's the one where Samuel's father, Dalton Olson, was the complainant in that case. Currently, she's on bond for that case. The DA's office here in Harris County has accepted charges for tampering with evidence at this time. And again, once we do more investigation, and if appropriate, we'll be, working with the DA's office to pursue additional charges if that's appropriate.
She is in custody right now.
She is in custody. She's actually in the Jasper County Jail right now. And so we're working on finalizing getting our charges filed here. Like I said, the Harris County DA's office has accepted charges here in Harris County, and we will be trying to get, working through the process to get her returned to Harris County.
Do we know how Samuel was
We do not. We'll have to wait. That'll come from the medical examiner, investigation. Yeah.
Will Ms. Balboa make a court appearance in Jasper County today?
I don't have any specifics on that. I do not know.
Did Jasper was away to comment on how Ms. Balboa acted or reacted when she was arrested?
Yeah, I do not have that information. Samuel's mother? I'm not aware of any. Obviously, as a mother, I understand she's, extremely upset, but I'm not aware of any threats or anything like that. We do not know, and that'll be part of our extensive follow-up investigation.
Any other questions? And folks, please remember he has not been positively identified yet. Let's keep that in mind.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything else?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
One question. That apartment that you guys served the search warrant on Monday, who specifically does that belong to?
That apartment is where Ms. Balboa lives there. That's her residence. And there is another male that lives there with her, but I don't want to, at this time, we don't want to identify who that is.
Do you know Ms. Balboa will be brought back to Harris County?
Yeah, so our intent is to just work through the legal process to get her returned to Harris County, yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So there you have it, guys. So now, if you want to go back and look at her fake face at the very beginning, you can see that all of that bullshit she's putting on is acting. Theresa Balboa has been charged with tampering with physical evidence. So that's what they've got her on now. So basically, they've got the gist of what happened to Samuel Olson, but are still interviewing people because they suspect there may be more than one person involved. As if to say, she's not capable of doing it all by herself. She had some help. You'll notice that they did not say that the father was a person of interest, but just that they would still be talking to him because he has all the information, especially regarding Theresa Balboa. This case sickens me. Ladies and men, if you have a child, this is like the 65th case of a significant other of someone who has children doing something fatal to a child. Please be very conscious and aware of who you put your children with. I'm sure this man trusted Theresa Balboa. You heard her say she was getting him ready for school. That tells you right there that he trusted her with his children. And people are not always who you think they are. So please, please be careful with your kids. I'm going to be following this story. I do believe that's the body of Samuel Olson, just as the police believe it, but they aren't really confirming it right now. They're wanting to get the medical examiner to confirm it, and I understand that. But I'm going to stay on this case, and I really do appreciate you, Denise Scott, for sending that story to me. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.